Welcome back. I'm Valerie. I'm an author and an avid reader, and here on this channel I am sharing parts of my creative life to inspire yours. Today I have on my spooky reading t-shirt because today we are going to be chatting about books. Fall books, autumn books, spooky books, ghost books, witchy books, creepy books, books to read during the spooky season. It is starting to feel very much like fall where I live. We still have a few more weeks before actual fall happens, but I am preparing my fall reading list this week. I have a very good stack of spooky-ish books, and even though I would love to read through all of these over the next 4 to 8 weeks, there's probably no way that's happening. But I would like to have a wide variety of choices to choose from as we slip into the cold sweater weather season, the leaves turning, nights getting longer, days getting shorter, the geese flying south. I want spooky books. So all of these books that I'm going to be talking about today are books that I'm going to be considering as options for my spooky season reading. I'm considering The Warm Hand of Ghosts by Katherine Arden, who wrote The Bear and the Nightingale book. I think it's the Winter Witch series. This is actually set in November and January during World War I, so I am not sure if this is going to be spooky season or not. I am picking it because of the word ghosts in the title and because I know there's some supernatural elements to this one. This could also double as a potential winter TBR, so I'm going to keep this one on my spooky season stack, but it may get transferred to the winter TBR, depending on how many of the other books I end up reading. This book is about a brother and sister who are torn apart by war and fight their way back to each other. They are determined to reunite, to come together again as a family. There is something with music in this book. I think there's a fiddler, a man in here who offers the soldiers an escape, but at what cost? Like I said, this may be one that I hold off on until later in the fall, until more in November. So I guess we're starting from the bottom of the pile of books that I will probably end up reading, and we'll move to the top of the books that I'm going to start. The next one I'm considering is Disturbance by Jenna. This is a book about a woman who spies on her teenage neighbor who is engaging in an occult ritual intended to banish an ex-boyfriend. She gets involved with this neighbor, with this new witchy friend, and things begin to escalate, and she begins to think maybe she's being haunted, and it just sounds very witchy and perfect for this season. I really want to get to this book by Gailey, just like Home. This is a haunted house type of book. A young woman returns to her family home after her mother asks her to come home. And I guess this house is a very well-renowned house for its violence, for the fact that the woman's father was a serial killer and buried the bodies in the walls of this house. And I think there is also an element in here about an artist who's living in the back garden house, and strange things are starting to happen. Some hauntings that may be related to her father's violence. I really love Gailey's writing, and so I'm very excited that she has a spooky season book for me to enjoy this year. Another author I really like is Simone St. James, and she does spooky season right. This is the Book of Cold Cases. A true crime blogger is investigating 2 cold case slayings in Oregon. So that feels fitting. This feels like it's going to be the perfect vibe for me since I do live in Oregon and I do love a good true crime blogger, spooky Simone St. James book. I think there's a haunted house in this one as well, so that could be fun. That seems to fit right in with the kind of books that I'm looking for. Here's one that I grabbed from a local bookstore a while ago, We Ate the Dark. I hadn't really heard anything about this book when I picked it up. I just wanted to support the bookstore, and I like the cover. I like dark, spooky books, and the back blurb of this one looked pretty good. This is by Mallory Pearson. This is about a woman who went missing, and then 5 years later her bones are found stuffed into the hollow of a tree near an abandoned house in the woods in North Carolina. And this is about the women, her friends, her family, who return to this area to try and uncover what happened to her. They are determined to seek justice for their friend, and of course each one of them is haunted by something from their past. This is a bit of a chunkster, which is perfect for the longer nights the darkness is going to be settling over us very soon. Got another chunkster here. This one is The Deep by Alma Katsu, and Alma Katsu is pretty well known for her literary horror. I haven't yet read anything from her, and this one is about a haunted vessel, a haunted ship, which I think could be a good break from the other like haunted house type books that I have on my stack. I don't really care what location is being haunted as long as it's being haunted. I'm sorry, this is not just any ship. This is the Titanic. So this is one of those blurbs where I'm not entirely sure what's going to be happening in the book, but I am ready to go along for the ride. I think there's a dual narration happening here between the Titanic and its sister ship Britannic, and some elements of sinister disaster, and I hope some supernatural elements as well. So that is the first stack of spooky reads that I have to choose from this season. And what's on the next stack? This one. Let's check this one out. Got some good ones here. Oh, it's heavy. Okay. Whew. All right. Another possibility is the book American Are You Scared Yet by author Elle Mitchell. Elle Mitchell is the pen name of a writer friend of mine, Elizabeth Mitchell, who writes very dark and twisted, yet very human, literary style type books. This one I think is a departure from her more literary writing. This one does involve some tweet-like media inside the book, in addition to the script-like vignettes, where we are following a group of people who are on a reality TV show similar to Squid Games-ish, a live horror survival reality show. 7 contestants compete for $50 million and the title of American Killer. And that's all I really want to know about this book. It has been on my shelf for a little while. I think she published it last year. Oh no, 2021. Has it been that long? It's been 3 years since she published this book, and I have yet to read it because honestly I'm scared of it. So this may be the season where I'm ready to be frightened as I read. Another book that I have had my eye on for a while and haven't gotten around to is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. I think I actually maybe had this on another TBR a couple of years ago on my YouTube channel. I may have been talking about it. Still haven't really gotten around to reading it. Gothic and dark. A young woman living in a rigid puritanical society discovers the dark powers within herself in this stunning feminist fantasy debut. There's a prophet, there's a small town, there are dark woods that people are forbidden to go into, there are rumors of witches, and yes, this does sound like a great book to be reading this fall. I have also been working my way through Never Whistle at Night, which is a collection of short stories from Indigenous authors. It is a dark fiction anthology, and I think I've only read 1 or 2 of these, but yes, they have been quite dark with some fantastic supernatural elements, and I think this is a book that I will be keeping close by. A good book to pick up whenever I'm not in the middle of something else, or if I just really want to read something short and quick, something I know that will raise the hairs on my arms. This will be a good one to keep next to my bedside. I probably won't have nightmares, probably. Do you have nightmares after you read scary books? The last 2 books on my fall to be read pile are kind of breaking the rules a little bit, but we're gonna run with it. So the first one is Wolfish by Erica Berry, and this one I'm actually halfway through and I want to finish it. And wolves fit in just fine with the spooky season, I think. And this book is a combination of a scientific, natural, non-fiction book along with a memoir essay style of Erica Berry as a woman in the world and coming to understand herself in a dangerous world and the fear that she lives with in the day-to-day and also in other kind of more remarkable ways. What I've read so far I've really loved of this book. I just put it down and then never picked it back up again, but it is a book that I do want to revisit and to finish, and I think this would be a good time of year to do that. The final book that I have on my to-be-read pile is The Hunter by Tana French, and this is a book that I have really been looking forward to since I think last year. I pre-ordered it. It came in March of 2024, and I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. And originally I put it on the stack because I was like, hunting, that is a fall sport. That is a thing people do in September, October, November. Previously, Tana French's books have felt very autumnal to me, and it's orange like a pumpkin. How could this not be a fall book? So then I crack it open and it says, it's a blazing summer when 2 men arrive in the small village in West Ireland. One of them is coming home. Both of them are coming to get rich. One of them is coming to die. I'm already invested. So I had a thought of like, I should not include this in my fall TBR. This is a summer book. And then I said, wait, Valerie, you can still read this one because fall, autumn, technically doesn't start until September 21st, 22nd. And this is the beginning of September, which means I still have time to read this in the summer. Technically, look at me breaking my own rules. So these two books, Wolfish and The Hunter, which, like, is there a better, could I have paired these better together? Perfect. These two books are the books that I'm going to be focusing on first. Once these two are done, then I can start slowly going my way through this pile, picking and choosing at whim. Whatever book feels like the right book at the time, whatever book has kind of the theme or the level of spook or horror that I am looking for. I have not looked at my Kindle in a long time, but I do know there are some scary-ish types of books on the Kindle as well. So if I do run out of books, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to run out of reading material in the time that I've allotted as spooky season, basically September through October, before we move into the wintry reads. I will try to get through as much of this pile as possible. Maybe I get through all of them, but I also have other books that I am reading, both nonfiction for writing research and book club books that I have agreed to read with other people. So 11 books on my own does feel a bit ambitious, but you know, I like having options. I like being able to choose my next read based on how I'm feeling or what I'm needing in that moment. So this is my fall TBR, my spooky read pile. Let me know in the comments if you have planned your fall TBR out already. Tell me about the spooky, ghosty, witchy, supernatural, haunted house books that you are going to be reading in the fall, if you do that kind of thing. Maybe you don't. Maybe you hate seasonal reading, and that's totally fine too. You can still leave a comment telling me what you're planning to read, whether it's spooky or not. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.